Today we're going to break down the editing process of this photo right here. In doing so, we're going to learn how simple it is to create unique stylistic photos even when you're by yourself, taking the pictures by yourself. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, stay up to date. So before we go into details of how to edit this effect, I want to go over the photos I took in order to achieve this effect. So it's 4 photos in general. The first one we have right here is our base layer. It's just me with the expression, no hands at all. The second layer is me with my left hand twisted around my face, the back of my head, grabbing my face. The third photo is the other hand twisting around and grabbing another part of my face, and then me doing my best to get some kind of angle where the fingers look like they're coming out of my mouth. So now let's quickly edit it. You're gonna love how quick and easy this is. So we're first gonna work with our base layer and then this layer right here with the left side of our face with the hand on it. So we're gonna wanna select this layer right here with the hand twisted around and change the opacity to 50%. That's going to allow us to see underneath as well. And make sure when you're doing this that those are the only 2 layers that are being viewed, that the little eyeball icons are not on for your other layers. Anyway, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to move and adjust this photo right here of my hand on my face so it matches just close enough with the base layer. And by just close enough means really just this eyeball and then our jawline right here, because that's really all that's going to be in contact with my face right there. Nothing else on my face matching up perfectly matters. So if I put my eyeball matched up perfectly with the one underneath, you can see that the jawline is right here. It's way off. My chin's down here. So we're going to need to rotate a little bit. Now in Photoshop, you can just hit Control T, and now you have these options to rotate. You can scale. And that right there I'm happy with. If we turn off the layer, you can see how it's very, very close with this jawline and the eye is close enough. Let's grab our quick select tool right over here. And we want to select the hand. So just the hand. Quick thing, if you hold down Alt, it's how you can delete your selections, remove the selections. Okay, so that looks great. So what we want to do is just come down here and click the icon that's going to create a vector mask for us. And we do that, you can see now it has cut out the selection that we have made. And now what we want to do is we can see our vector mask right here on our layer. We want to double click on that. And now we have all these options and tools over here to adjust and tweak this mask. And that's exactly what we want to do. So we want to click the brush tool right here. And then right here, you can adjust the size and the hardness of it, or the featheredness, the softness on the edges of it. So the size we can put somewhere around 50. That looks good. And then hardness, we want at 0. And now we're just going to go around our fingers right here and just kind of paint in the details around here. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow the contact, the fingers on the skin, on the face contact, to look far more realistic, because it is. I'm actually touching my face in this shot. Now we can see right here my lip is actually being seen, so we just want to remove that. So if we select the brush tool, the minus up here we can select, and then I want to decrease the size of our brush just to be a little more detailed. And we can go around that and just carefully remove the lip. And then if you want to soften it up a little bit more, you can go back to the plus icon to brush on, increase your size a little bit, and then just kind of go back over it just a little bit. So now we want to go to the right over here, and we want to add a little bit of feather, around 1 or so, and add a little bit of smoothness, around 5 or 6 will be good. And then last adjustments, I can see around my wrist and stuff. I don't like these little jagged areas, and also my wrist is it's kind of weird with my hair right here. It's not looking normal, so we want to erase. So put on the minus so it erases, and now we can just erase until it looks nice and natural. And now we're left with this, which I think looks great. I will say I don't like my fingers right here. They look a little odd. It's kind of weird, it sticks out to me. So we can just erase those out of the shot, grab our brush tool, make sure the erase is on. I'm gonna bring the hardness up a little bit, And then let's just erase. And this is the result that we get, which I'm all for. Now, before we move on to our next hand, we can see there is a slight discoloration between this image of the hand and the image of just our face. You can see it looks a little bit bluer, paler. So we can select our hand layer, the left side hand layer, go to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance, and it looks like we want to add a little bit of reds in the midtones and add a little bit of yellow as well. Maybe a little bit more red. And then let's add a little bit of reds in the shadows. And now you can see it's much more blended in, not noticeable, looks great. Yeah, so now let's add the other hand. So let's turn on that layer, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Turn the opacity down, match up the jawline, and then we're going to cut out the hand. So let's go ahead and do that. Now for this one, I actually want to paint all the way onto the eyebrow as well, because the eyebrow will be getting pulled up if the hand was really grabbing me right there. So if we paint the eyebrow, it actually looks great. You can see how that eyebrow just disappeared. And again, we're not painting it. I keep saying painting. We're really just adding on the image that, you know, the image of this hand. We're just adding on top. We're painting that image on top of this. And again, we want to add just a little bit of a feather, something around 1 and 2, and about 5 or 6 with the smoothness. And I need to fix this wrist action right here with my hair as well, just like last time, and we will be good. And now we have this that quickly. I mean, it's already sick on its own, but let's just add the last crescendo.
Crescendo. Crescendo.
Which is the fingers coming out of my mouth. So we want to take this layer right here and we want to quick select only the top finger. We're going to have both fingers be 2 separate layers. Regardless, we're just going to quick select one of the fingers, the top one, create a vector mask, and now let's adjust its position, rotation, scale, all that stuff. So right there looks good. We're going to double click on our vector mask to bring up the options. And we're going to add a little bit of feather, again like before. Smooth it out, same exact thing. And now let's take our brush and let's brush in some details here just around our guy. So there's our detail right there. And we can also erase this excessive amount of finger. We don't need all that. Sweet, that looks great. So let's right mouse click on that layer, duplicate the layer. Okay. And then we're just gonna want to select the vector mask and delete it. And now quick select our other finger. And that looks good. That's probably the fastest quick select I've ever done in my life. And now we're going to adjust this other finger. So let's double click on the vector mask. For this one, we're not going to actually do any added in details, just because you can see there's no details really added in. The finger isn't touching anywhere on my face, it's just hanging there. So anything added will just, it'll look weird. So we do want to add just, again, a little bit of feather, a little bit of smoothness, and then we can erase, again, the excessive finger right there. Ooh, too much. So now let's get those fingers actually into the mouth and not just pasted on top. So let's take our base layer, right mouse click, duplicate that layer, bring it to the very top, and then do our quick select. And now we're just going to quick select my buck teeth right there. I don't have buck teeth, but man, they really look like a rabbit's teeth right there a little bit. And we're just going to quick select the top of the lips and a little bit of my face right over here. So that looks good. We're going to create another vector mask, and now you can see that it's starting to look like it's coming out of my mouth. You can see the mask we just created is actually in the way of our finger right here. It's on top of it. quick, easy fix. It's just a layering issue of our layers. We can select the copy of our base layer and then the 2 finger layers we have, and then just move them underneath both of our hand layers. And now that is not an issue anymore. So let's select our vector mask that we just created of our lips, double click that, feather it out a little bit, smooth it out, and then we also want to shift the edges down a little bit to get rid of that blackness we're seeing. Just shift it down a little bit, and that looks good. Hit OK. I also don't like this little bit of skin on my finger, so I think we need to get rid of that. So if we select that finger, go to the eraser, and then just erase that out right there. Make it look like just a straight line. That looks good. And for the last detail, we're just going to add shadows to our fingers right here. So we want to select the first finger, which is the one right on top here. Go to our brush right here. Select the brush. Make sure we have the color set on black. You can change the blending mode of the brush if you want. We're going to have it on normal, which is fine. And the opacity, we can set to something very small, such as 10. And everything else looks good. Let's make sure actually, hardness we want to be really soft, so all the way on 0. Size is fine. We're gonna add a little bit of shading right at the lips right here. And now we're gonna add the shading on the finger in the back. Select that layer, have our brush selected, and now we just begin to paint some darkness right where we want. We want the finger in the front to be the motivation for this shadow. And there we have it, people, our final effect of multiple hands. We could have done more hands. You know, when I was doing this photo, maybe I'll do another photo with just hands galore. The concept stays the same. We could add as much hands as we want. Like this video to help with the algorithm, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can stay up to date with this channel. And as usual, this channel doesn't have a ending slogan for me to say, so I'm just going to leave you with this. Goodbye.